You know, sometimes you just have to go to your parents' house and steal their food. And, you know, they weren't there. Although, even if they were, I would have done it anyway, so.
I love checking out people's fridges.
Same. My parents is always so odd, though.
Yeah.
Like, so odd.
Like, when I go to someone's house for the first time, I always want to be like, what's in your fridge?
Ed and Cindy, I went in to get a drink, and they had a Ziploc bag that had 3 hot dogs in it. But, like, uncooked hot dogs. And I was like, what's this about?
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
It's Thursday.
Thursday.
Almost Friday.
Friday.
I mean, with us industry folks.
I don't need, yeah.
When people are like, happy Friday, I'm like,
Tell me when it's Sunday.
yeah, for
You know?
real.
Let me know when Monday's coming up. Monday's my day.
You guys are dreading Mondays. We love them.
I love a Monday. Yeah.
Going grocery shopping with no one at the store.
Going shopping in general with no one at the store.
But then when people are there, I'm like, will you not work?
That's the same. I'm always like, what do you guys do for a living? Why are you here right now? And then I'm like, oh, wait. hold on.
But I'm also here.
I'm like, ugh, there's too many people.
I know.
I hate busy store.
Oh, me too.
I think I've said this all the time. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
AirPods in. Sometimes I keep my sunglasses on in the store too.
That doesn't shock me because you wear your sunglasses all the time. All the time. Oof. How you doing? How was your week?
I'm doing better.
Uh-huh.
Week was all right. I got sick,
Yeah.
which we jinxed it because, a week and a half ago, we were just sitting here talking about how, we haven't gotten sick in forever.
Yeah.
We've been healthy. And then I get fucking sick.
Yeah. You got like weird sick too.
I got weird sick. I thought it was just a cold. Like, it was really just
Apologies for the truck,
fucking
y'all.
trucks. Don't they got jobs?
Another thing that I often think when cars drive by, I'm like, shouldn't you be at work?
Right. So it started off by thinking, like, I thought I just had like a little bit of a sore throat, nothing crazy. I had some congestion, but I didn't feel sick otherwise. No fever, no body aches, no, I don't know, anything else. So I was just like, all right, let me take some Mucinex, some ibuprofen, I'll go away. And then Matt was at my house last week, and I was like, my throat's just like really bothering me right now, actually. It was after we ate dinner. And I go into the bathroom, and I put a flashlight to my throat, and I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? Have him come. He's like, you have tonsil stones. I've never had fucking tonsil stones in my life, so I don't know.
It looked like tonsil stones. It really did.
It looked awful. I'm going to leave some of the details out, but
it was like fun to look at, but
not for me. So then went to the doctor the next day. They took a look at my throat and said, this is one of the worst throats we've ever seen. How did you not come in any earlier? And it's because I'm a rock star. Just kidding. Go to the doctor if you're fucking sick. And then, I got strep throat.
yeah.
So my husband hasn't touched me in a week.
Well, I mean, there's other backstory on that conversation,
Shut
but we
the
ain't gonna
fuck
we're not gonna go
up.
through that. But yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. Some
Me
people like get strep. Aren't you one of those people? Like you're.
So when I was younger and in my early 20s, I would get strep all the time. Parents should have gotten my tonsils removed, but you know. So I was like a strep carrier. And that's why I didn't think it was strep, though. It didn't feel that bad. It like felt annoying, but it didn't feel that bad. But
yeah.
I'm a survivor.
She's a survivor. I'm a survivor.
I don't know which route you were going to go.
Reba.
Reba McEntire.
What did you think I was gonna go Destiny's Child?
I don't know. I should have assumed Reba.
You know, my Lord and Savior, Reba
Aw, girl.
McEntire.
Staring
I
at Matt's
love her.
phone right now with the...
With the Reba sticker on
Yeah?
it.
Who got you that?
You did.
Yeah, I did.
I was so upset when I got a new phone because it's my old phone.
Yeah.
When I got a new phone and I had to get a new case because the case no longer fit. And I was like, but my Reba sticker.
My Reba sticker. Aw, girl. How's your week?
Pretty boring, honestly. I don't really have much to report.
Matt got a new fit.
Matt got a new fit. I mean, I did go shopping, and I went a little ham. But I got, good deals. The sales right now are really great. And a lot of I love a clearance rack.
Oh, yeah.
So a bunch of stuff. Like, I love getting pants that are normally like, I don't know, $80 for super cheap.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't care. You could judge me for my fashion all you want, but...
You know who you kind of look like?
Who?
You know Glee?
Bitch.
What?
Who?
The gym, was she the principal? Jane
Lynch?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
I don't know. I feel like she would rock that too.
Bitch. Of all the people you could use...
What? I can't call you Harry Potter. Can't call you Ron.
Because
call
you don't
Jane
mean
Lynch.
it in like an endearing way.
Yes, I do.
Bitch.
You look like a powerful girl.
I mean, listen, I told you I had problems like going with this type of fit.
I love it.
Because I have trauma from when I was little, like in school, and my parents used to always put me in like sweatpants and stuff. And I felt like a little dirty kid, like, one of those like, ooh, what were his parents thinking type thing. And so I'm not a big sweatpant person. I'm really not.
Oh.
They have, like, if I wear sweatpants, they have to be a bit stylish. Because I just feel I have flashbacks. That's the same thing with the collars. I have trauma from my childhood with my parents dressing me. And yeah, it seeps into my adult life. And here I am.
I get the stylish sweatpants if you're wearing them outside the house. But in my house, girl, anything comfy. Anything comfy. I don't give a fuck how I look.
I wish I was the type of person who could just walk around in their underwear in their house, but I'm not. I don't know why. Maybe because my apartment is very not well insulated. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that person.
When it comes to walking the girls, I don't give a fuck what I look like too. Like, I yesterday morning had Josh's underwear on, my black fluffy robe, threw on some Crocs, and I was just walking them
with no pants.
Well, the robe was like long, and I had the underwear on, the box briefs.
I mean,
not brief, but whatever.
I saw you on my way to work the other day.
I waved.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
I don't care. People see me. I don't give a fuck. It's 7 a.m. You can't be judging. I mean, it could be 12 p.m. I don't give a fuck.
Right? Like, you out there in the middle of the day.
I'm like, this is my house. This is what I choose to wear. You go about your business.
That's why you just need to, like, I want a house that's like off the road.
Oh, same.
So that people
see what I actually
really
wear.
have to look.
There is times when I'm walking the girls, like, not dressed well, and my next door neighbor will come outside. I'm like, girls, we gotta go back inside because I ain't got no bra on.
Yeah.
Like, I look inappropriate.
Yeah. You see them titties. AM to the PM. I got problems.
We know.
All right. So today's episode.
What we doing today?
We're gonna go through. We haven't done this in a while. We're gonna go through some email write-ins that we got. Last time it was a lot of like crazy stuff. This time it's a little,
a little more.
It's
real. All of them were real life, but it's a little more deep.
Yeah. So with us with this Call Me Crying podcast, it's like chaotic, messy, laughing your way through life. And so we, for the most part, laugh about like dumb shit all the time. But even like the hard times are funny. Not in the moment maybe, but reflecting. We often go through that as me and you. But like, remember the other night when you
stormed down our house?
Smack the bag of Cheetos out of your hand.
I was pissed.
She was pissed. And I was like, damn, I didn't even think I whacked it that hard. That shit flew across the room.
My Cheetos, I had chopsticks not to get my fingers, stained. And Matt just came around and smacked, and they went flying. I got my dogs. I think they're going to be eating Red 40. Like, I can eat Red 40. I'm not trying to introduce that to my pups.
I hate it here. Okay, anyway, back to what we're talking about. So some people emailed us and are asking for some advice.
Yeah.
And Again, we're not trained professionals.
Not
None
whatsoever.
of this. We assume no. What's the word? Liability.
Yeah.
I'm just struggling talking today.
Story Miller.
Jeez. But yeah. So here we go. Are you
Matt's
ready?
gonna read them because
I'm
he
gonna
doesn't
read
trust
them.
me.
That's not true. We talked about this. She volunteered to not read.
Yeah.
All right. First one. Dear Kayleigh and Matt, I am currently struggling with the idea of what I want my life to be. I am 30 years old, living alone, and working 2 jobs. I don't have many friends, and my jobs have really become the only thing in my life. The problem is, I hate what I do. I currently work as a receptionist during the day and a server at night. The jobs aren't ones that really weigh on my mind and cause me stress, but they are so unfulfilling. I just feel like I'm on a dead-end road, knowing I won't come to a new path, but just continue to drive down it anyway. There is potential for growth at my receptionist job, but I don't know if that's something that would make me feel better. I can probably predict what you're going to say, change things up. And I understand that, but it's scary. Am I just too comfortable now? Have I sold my soul? Isn't it easier to just stay the course? Please help. Also, P.S. I listen to your podcast and watch you on TikTok, and your show has become something I look forward to every week. Love the love.
Aww.
All right. The love was my own. That wasn't part of the email.
You added it in there.
I added that in there.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on this one?
So I feel there's 2 like tiers to this, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There's the work side and the unfulfillment that work is bringing to this person right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like the personal life, love, and fulfillment over there as well.
Mm-hmm.
One, I understand what this writer is saying. Like, I know what you're probably going to say. I should just change it up and whatnot. I think some things have to happen in a slow burn, and you have to be comfortable of the changes that you're making in your life. And you don't have to do something so abruptly. Hearing this, in my opinion, again, not professional, something needs to change. Clearly.
Absolutely.
Something needs to change with work. If you have an opportunity to grow in your the job that you're working at now, but it doesn't bring you excitement, clearly that's not for you. Clearly you have to really like identify what you want to do with your life and how much you want work to be a part of your life too, because you can find a career that you love, which is very important, but you also want to remember your career should not define you. You should not think that your career will just automatically bring you happiness. You need to also prioritize your personal life, whether that's friends, whether that's a hobby, things that you like to do, volunteering, watching shows that you love. It could be anything. Everything is different for everyone, you know, what is going to bring you joy and happiness. I think that you need to make changes when it comes to both professional and personal life. You can do it at a slow burn and see what you're comfortable with, but changes need to happen. And you need to, again, just realize, and this is coming from personal experience, just changing your work life is not going to fix all of your problems. Will it bring you some more joy? I hope so. I think so. But that's not the only issue at hand.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a couple things that in that like mindset of a slow burn, like update your resume, apply to jobs,
make your LinkedIn open for work. Like
Yeah.
there's that function on LinkedIn that you can make it so you're like open to looking
Yeah.
for a new job. And just, you know, realize the next job that you take, if you decide to do so, don't think that that will automatically be the job of your dreams. You may need to try trial and error, and that's okay. It's okay to make a big jump, go to a new position, go to a new workplace, but also just be aware that things take time and give yourself grace with that. Don't think that if you make a change, you have to then stick to that if you're still not happy.
Yeah. And I think also in making that change, like I often struggle with this where it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to make this change and I'm going to see immediate results. They're not immediate.
They're
never
not
immediate. And like the thing is you are not happy. And I didn't really think about the 2 different aspects, but it is true. There's the 2 aspects of work and then personal. And so listen, you don't need to go get a new job but you could just go on interviews. Like, maybe you will find a job. And maybe part of the problem is, and I'm assuming you have two jobs because of, like, financial stuff, which I totally understand. Maybe you find another job that is, like, financially going to support you, that you won't need two jobs. And then that will open up doors for you to have more free time. The other thing is, I also, like, this for me, I very much have felt this way many, many times.
Oh, same.
And it's part of the thing of, like, you sort of just have to, like, put yourself out there. And, like, I've recently been going through this thing where it's like, I just feel like I need to go, like, sit in a restaurant alone and, like, read a book and eat dinner and, like, let whatever happens happen. So yeah, I think it's the two things. Like, A, you're not happy at work, then just test your waters. Go on interviews. See what else is there. And then in terms of, you know, a personal life kind of fulfillment, figure out, and maybe you do have hobbies, maybe, you know, you didn't write about this, but focus on things that make you happy.
And not things that you feel like should make you happy. Actually make you happy. Don't feel the pressure from the outside of, I should be someone who can enjoy reading books. Some people aren't like that, you know? But maybe you're someone who wants to take yourself out and go see a movie or go on a hike. Like, you really have to focus on what will bring you joy, not what you think should bring you joy.
Yeah.
And for someone who made a big career change less than a year ago, I totally resonate with how you're feeling. It is so scary to think that you should just have to, like, suck it up and do it and keep with the momentum. But I will tell you, on the other side, it is so much better. And working in a job, even if you're fine there, you're, like, happy but you're not fulfilled, that impacts then your personal life as well, because it bleeds over. So you don't realize sometimes too that the career in which you're working or the job that you're working at, how if you're unhappy or even if you're just kind of stagnant with it, how much that then actually bleeds into your personal life and makes that area not as enjoyable as well.
Okay, I have one other thing on this, which could be, you know, could relate to how you're feeling, but maybe not. But on, like, for a personal level, I also feel like what did she say? She was 30, 29? It's a she.
Okay.
Yeah. 30 years old. So I also got in this, and I still am in this sometimes, where it's like that kind of, like, traditional outlook on life of, like, milestones and stepping stones and this is where I should be. Like, I struggle with that a lot. And so I feel like that's also another thing that could be in play here, is, like, maybe you have family and they all are, like, doing well financially, or they have kids, they're married, you know, like, there's multiple things here. I think part of it with, I'm 30 years old living alone, like, I feel like maybe this is a thing too, where it's like all of these societal milestones, like, traditionally in the, like, the traditional aspect, like, is pressure that you don't always think about, but it could always be there. Like, for me, it's not stuff I think about all the time, but then sometimes I'm, like, really thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, that's another thing that I know, like, subconsciously, is that the word?
That's, yeah.
Is in the back of my head, that I'm like, oh, well, you know, you're 31 years old and you wanted all these things. And I, like, look at it and I'm like, no, but that's, like, that traditional thing where it's like, I also at one point wanted fucking kids by the time I was 25. Could you imagine me with kids right now?
Mm-mm.
I can't. So it's like all those things. I feel like
I agree with that. That's a really
societal
good point.
milestones where, like, nowadays 30, back in the day 30 was old. 30 is young. You are so young. I mean, I still think 60 is young. Like, you could do so much.
The world is so different now too, with buying a house now at our age comparative to our parents at our age. Like, the difference in finances and cost and inflation, and I mean, I could go down a whole rabbit hole with that, but I agree. I think that's a really good point. There's also this cloud of societal pressure, thinking that you should be somewhere, even if it's okay that you're not aligned with that.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own timeline. Everyone has their own course. It's not a competition. It's not a competition to have to be somewhere if you're not ready at that age.
Yeah. And it's just like the pressure, and I think about this a lot. It's the pressure that you're putting on yourself. Like, maybe there are people in your life that, you know, say like, oh, when are you gonna settle down, blah, 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 all that stuff. But a lot of the times the pressure is just pressure you're putting on yourself. And you gotta just, I mean, listen, I'm preaching to myself right now. You gotta just stop that shit. Like,
You have to.
Focus on what you like and what you want to do, and as long as that's kind of like your motivation on you living your life, then that's your life.
Go down that course versus going down the course of how you think people, or using the word society again, pardon me, drinking some soda over here, how you think that people should think that you should live your life, like where you should be at these certain stages, like that. That's not how it goes. It sucks that we feel this way, because I can completely relate to that. But if you prioritize yourself and what you actually want and what your goals are, you're going to live a much happier life than if you're going at the beat of someone else's drum.
Yeah. And just quickly throwing this in there, don't pay attention to people on social media. Half the time that shit is not real. And I often do that.
It's
where
all
I'm like,
filters.
I just want to be like these people. And
I know,
it's like
same,
so
totally.
Stupid.
I know.
So stupid.
They're only showing you what they want to show you.
Yeah.
You have to remember there's so much more behind that camera.
Yeah. They're not showing you when they're curled up in a ball crying in the shower. Wish I could do that. I don't have enough space. Just kidding.
You don't.
All right. So hopefully, you know, that's helpful for you.
You got it.
You got
do.
this. Just, you know, think about things. Lay it all out. Sometimes I love a
Make a
layout
mood board.
session. Yeah.
Make a inspo mood board,
Yeah.
you know, of what you want in the next 6 months, in the next 9 months, in the next year. Like, start putting together visuals. That's always helpful as well.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
All right.
First one. All right. Second one. This one could seem a little darker.
Okay.
But I don't think that's the way that they meant it. I think when we talk about it, it will develop more. But just a quick, like, we're not going super dark here, y'all. So just, here we go. All right. Dear Call Me Crying, I'm not a strong person. Saying that doesn't bother me, though. I've been through so much in my life with ups and downs, and the downs have really gotten to me at this point. I'm at a point where I just want to give up on trying to, quote unquote, live life and just go it alone. Focus on myself, do my own thing, and have no one to worry about or deal with in my life. I'm too afraid of opening up to people out of fear of being hurt like I have in the past, or the dreadful idea of losing someone, in the many ways that you can lose someone. I don't have the strength to watch someone go. I barely have the energy to get up out of bed and go to work. I guess what I'm asking is, can I do life alone? If I have hobbies and learn to enjoy my own company, can I truly be able to have a life that is just me? You said before on your podcast that you have to focus on you first and learn to be alone with yourself. But is my dream of a lonely life by myself just a dream or something I can actually achieve?
Oh, that breaks my heart.
Same. But I also feel like I've thought this way before.
That's, I think, why it breaks my heart.
You know?
'Cause,
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like one of those
Absolutely.
things where it's easy to get lost in that.
It's easy to get into that habit and that mindset.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just better to be alone and do it myself because of the fear
Yeah.
of like this. Did they put their name? No, it's anonymous, right?
They didn't put. Yeah, it's very anonymous. I have no gender, age, anything.
Okay. So with this writer, the first thing I think of and I hear is they want to be alone because of the fear of losing someone. So it's not like they want to be alone because they just are not interested in people.
Yeah.
It's because of that fear where, in my perspective, you shouldn't. It's so much easier said than done to put this out there, but that fear is so rooted and so horrible to feel. You can't force relationships upon yourself if you're not ready, but you can't hold on to your past to harbor your future, not allowing you to open up yourself to relationships if they do come and you're interested in it. Because if you hold on to, I don't want to open myself up because I'm fearful of losing someone or being hurt again, you're taking your past and you're allowing it to control your future. I'm not saying you should force yourself to go on dates or go on friend meetings or meet people if you're not ready yet. But I don't think you should close yourself off and just assume you are going to be alone for the rest of your life, because I don't think that's a great way to live. I don't think you're going to find the enjoyment out of life that you have the potential to do so, especially if you're highlighting that there's a reason why you are feeling that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they were purely like, I don't like people, I don't want to be around people, I just want to be alone, like, that's your own prerogative, go at the beat of your own drum. But what I'm picking up from this writer is there's something that happened in their past that is causing them to feel this way. And because of that, I wouldn't recommend wanting to live a life alone based on fear. I do think prioritizing yourself, your mental health, and your well-being is absolutely number one. And you have to do that before you can really open yourself up to other people. But yeah, I think that's my initial take on it.
Yeah. I have two thoughts of this. Is the first of saying how we've said on this podcast before, like, essentially, like, you need to do the work. You need to be alone and do that.
Yeah.
And I think the idea behind that, at least I think for both of us, is not that we are doing the work of being alone so that we can be alone.
Exactly.
It's doing the work of being alone and being content with yourself in terms of, at least for me, boundaries. Like, I will not, because I've been alone, I know what I like in like friendships, in relationships, romantically, things like that. It just allows me to know, like, this is what I'm okay with and this is what I'm not okay with. And if I'm, say I have a friend and they act a certain way or do certain things that I don't personally align with, and that for me I've decided is a boundary, that's what that's about. It's not that, oh, I've spent the time being alone and because I'm happy with who I am means I want to be alone, or that I can sustain being alone. Because the second thing for me is that as humans, we are wired to want connection with other people. And so I think if you were to go down this route of, okay, I'm gonna just live my lonely life, not in a bad connotation, but I'm going to live my lonely life, I think you are going to run into times where you have the desire,
like the yearning for that connection,
to not be alone.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's truly possible for you to live a life alone. First off, unless you're going to like nail up your windows and lock yourself in your house, you're never alone. You're never alone. And I think maybe what it is you have to just find people who are worth it in the sense of, like, yes, loss is inevitable, and like people will die and people will unfortunately move on, and maybe they have to move, or maybe you're friends with two people and then those two people get in a fight, and then now that's like there's all these different ways of you to lose someone. But I think that loss is worth it.
I think it's worth it, and I think it makes you stronger, how you utilize it, versus closing off from people because of loss and because of hurt. You have to take that and put your energy into making you stronger versus making you closed off.
Yeah.
I think another thing I wanted to add on is the part where again, what we've talked about previously on the podcast, like being happy alone and within yourself. My perspective on that is you should be happy. You have to get to a place of being happy alone with yourself, who you are, to strengthen your relationships, not as a replacement to your relationships, because you cannot expect someone, if you're miserable within your life, if you're not happy and you think, oh, well, if I just get into a relationship, I'll be better. That's not the way to think about it, because then that's not solving the internal issue of, wait, no, why are you unhappy? What is going on with your life? So that's, I mean, my take on what we meant in prior podcasts, talking about just being happy by yourself and alone and with who you are, is really because at the end of the day, you do have to prioritize yourself in order to have a strong, strengthened relationship with someone coming in, versus assuming someone's coming in to heal that. You have to heal that. You have to heal that within yourself.
Yeah. I don't think there is a benefit to living a life alone. Like listen, there's been times where I'm like, I'm just gonna move. I'm gonna just,
well, and in phases of your life, it's good to like be independent in phases of your life. You learn a lot about yourself, you grow a lot, but to forecast the rest of your life alone, I don't see a good in that. I think you have to figure out what's going on internally, and you're gonna cross paths with right connections, whether it's friends, whether it's colleagues, whether it's a romantic relationship. It's gonna happen as long as you don't close yourself off to that.
Yeah. And I think closing yourself off just limits all of the opportunities that could come up. Like, you're gonna have opportunities that come to you alone, but like there's tons of things. Maybe like a thing for me, I want to travel, but I'm not the type of person who I want to travel alone. Like, I just don't have that in me where I could say like, oh, I'm gonna go to Paris and I'm gonna do it by myself. I couldn't do that. So like, maybe you're the type of person who can do that, but I think there's just so many opportunities that come based on the people in our lives,
I mean, you and I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't meet Josh.
Yeah.
It doesn't just, relationships are not linear. So a romantic relationship can bring friendships, can bring connections, can bring so much to your life. Just like I met my husband through a friend. So my friendship was not just linear with this person, because it then brought me a romantic relationship. It's, the tree branches, the connections, the vines, like it spreads. It spreads like a wildflower garden where they're just constantly popping up and you're seeing different types of flowers. So yeah, I mean, I to wrap it up, of my opinion, I think you have a lot of work to do to figure out why you're feeling that way. You should not rush into any relationship or connection if you're not ready. But I strongly believe closing yourself off is only going to do more harm than good for you.
Yeah. I think, listen, take the time, do your own thing.
Take the time, yeah.
But and listen, maybe you are the type of person who you like to be alone 90% of the time, but I don't think it's smart to say, I'm just gonna restrict myself from connections with other people. I think you could be the type of person who maybe you like to be alone, but don't, not sit near someone in a restaurant because you want to keep guarded. Like, don't let that be the case. If you want to be alone, then be alone, but there are normal everyday connections that could turn into bigger things in your life, and I don't think you should restrict yourself from those opportunities.
And look at your life like a book. Don't write off the rest of the book right now. Think of it as chapters. You're going through this chapter right now. Don't write the rest of your chapters with how you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
And
also, certain chapters of your life build a really good character.
Yeah.
And, there are tons and tons of people who go through situations. Maybe they're short, maybe they're years long, and then they get out of those, and then all of a sudden life is everything that they have wanted it to be, and they couldn't have gotten there if they didn't. I mean, maybe they could have. I don't want to say they couldn't, but you know.
Well, before I met Josh, I got out of a not so great relationship, and I was in my mid to late 20s at the time, and I was like, okay, like that's it. I'm not going to find someone. I just like wrote it off my head that like I'm going to be alone forever. I'm going to pour myself into work. That's going to be my life. I went through that for a period, and then I had a friend come to me and say, I want to set you up on a blind date, and I almost said no. But I decided to say yes, and it just changed my chapters. It changed my history. And if I stuck with my initial feeling of I'm going to be alone the rest of my life, and I said no to that, I don't know where my life would be right now.
Yeah.
So I get that mindset. I really do. But just be open. Just be open.
Yeah. In my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, you know, I go through that. I might be in that phase right now. So, Kayleigh, when are you gonna, you know, set me up on a blind date?
I've tried.
Have you? Mm-hmm. What?
We'll talk about it.
Girl, I don't remember you trying to set me up on a blind date.
Okay.
Y'all, if y'all want to set me up on a blind date too.
We should go to the post office.
First off, we're not going back to the post office.
Just kidding.
These are new
He's creep.
opportunities. Yeah, you know. I don't know though if I could do a blind date. I'd like, can I at least see a picture?
I saw a picture.
Can you tell me something about this person? You know?
I got like some intel, but I didn't talk to him. Like it was like Taylor scheduled the date. Like we went through her. Shout out to Taylor.
Okay.
So we didn't talk ahead of time, but like she showed him pictures of me pictures of him, gave like probably here are the top 5 facts about them, something like that.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm okay with a blind date. If you were to set me up on a blind date, as long as you know the person and it wasn't like, oh, I just met this person, you should.
I think
like, what do you know about them? Are they a serial killer? Like,
that's why I was much more comfortable too, because I knew like Taylor knew Josh, Taylor knew me. So it wasn't like Taylor found a Craigslist ad of someone looking for a date and you know.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's see. What do we have in store now? Some of these are lengthy. All right. Okay. This one says, Hey, Matt and Kayleigh. I'm a 29-year-old gay man who is once again trapped in a situationship that doesn't seem to be going anywhere. For context, I've been, quote unquote, dating this guy, 38 years old, for about 5 weeks now. We met on Grindr, of course, and hooked up. I didn't add the of course, just real quick. After, though, he seemed to genuinely be into me and asked all these questions about my life. He shared details about his life, some very intimate and private. I didn't really plan on anything out of this hookup, but it seemed different. After the hookup, we started texting nonstop all day. We talk about everything from when we wake up to when we say goodnight. We see each other pretty often, and when we don't see each other, it's videos sent to each other or FaceTimes. There have been times where he has said he can't wait to show me things from his hometown or go to certain places together. All seemed promising. As of late, though, he seems to be less communicative. He isn't as affectionate as he was in the beginning, but he still says sweet things. My question is this over? Was this all just a dream that I decided to put my faith in and soon I'll wake up? What do I do? For context, because I know you probably have questions, he is definitely gay and single and not DL. I've been to his place and he's been to mine. We've been out together in public places.
Those are good.
Love context.
Those are good.
You know,
need to know.
I had.
Those were like things that I was thinking.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let you go first because you know I got a lot I could go with. Here.
Where is the red flag guy from TikTok?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know because this is screaming red flags to me. Not from the writer, from the guy. First of all, fuck situationships. Like, been there, done that. Fuck them. I hate them. I have PTSD from them. I think if things are going well, the conversation of commitment should happen. How long did you say?
5 weeks.
Okay, 5 weeks.
Which,
okay, that's a little... I don't know why I was thinking it was months. Okay, 5 weeks, you can still be in that in-between.
But I think at this point, you probably are nearing that conversation because in this sense, A, this is gay dating. So, like, you know, things move a little quick. But also, if you're texting every single day, nonstop, from the
And
moment you wake up to the
Right.
moment you go to sleep, if you don't see each other, you're sending videos to each other, it seems like that level of commitment is already
It's
there.
like you're
It's just not
cosplaying
talked about.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like you're cosplaying being in a relationship without being in a relationship, or
Yeah.
without being said it's a relationship. Also, the ages too. You know, it's one thing if you're talking about they're 19 and 21, like things take a little bit longer to get commitment. But what was it, 29 and 38? I don't know. I feel like at that point in your life, you're either gonna do it or not do it. What it sounds like is this guy is starting to slow burn ghost. I think ghosting is one of the shittiest things. It's so disturbing and it's so shameful. It's like you're a fucking pussy. Like, just sorry.
Damn.
But that's how I feel. I think ghosting is so immature. It's so gross. I don't fucking understand it. If you're not vibing with someone anymore, grow some balls and say it. I don't know. That's
In quick context, y'all, for us, I have ghosted before. I don't know if I've ever told you, but I'll never ghost again. I mean, I haven't ghosted as of, you know, a significant amount of time, but I have ghosted in the past, but never with this bitch.
okay. I will make an exception for ghosting if you're talking to someone for like a week and then it fizzles. I wouldn't really call that ghosting. Ghosting for me is if you have been talking for a while.
Like there's significance in your
Yeah, like
quote unquote relationship.
Yeah,
Whatever
if-
that be.
if you're just talking for a week and nothing has really like transpired yet, it fizzles out. But ghosting is when there's substance to it. And you're fucking talking every day from sun up to sundown. You're sending videos. You're going on dates. You're going out in public. Like, that's a fucked up thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry to this writer. Personally, I think they're starting to ghost you, which fuck them. Don't take this on and let this hurt you, because obviously this person has a lot of issues that they need to work out, and you shouldn't fucking be there for it.
Yeah.
I'm getting pissed.
Well, so my initial reaction is like, hey, what's this guy's name? Because, sir, I'm speaking from experience. You are being love bombed. That's what's happening here.
Oh,
You're being
yeah.
love
I
bombed.
didn't even. Yeah.
Like, literally, this happened to me like a year ago, honestly.
I think that's why I'm getting pissed, because
That's
I'm
probably why you're getting
connecting the
pissed.
dots
And it's like, you don't necessarily realize it when you're in
in
it.
the moment.
But you're being love bombed. Like, that's what's happening. And if you take yourself out of it for a second, it's like there's this weird thing of, wait a second, like, why are we talking about these specific things in like a long-term future? Like, this is what I'll say from
Right.
experience. So I was talking to a guy, we were like dating, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And there were things of like, oh yeah, you know, like, you'd love my grandma. Like, when you meet her, that type of thing. Or going on vacation together. These types of things.
Or like, our future home would totally look like this.
Yeah. Or like, this one still haunts me. This guy had sent me a video and said, I feel like I could talk to you about anything forever. Okay, cool.
In the
cute.
moment, it
the
makes you
it's
feel
like, oh, you know,
great.
this is really great.
Yeah.
And then you realize after it starts to fizzle and you're like, okay, something's weird. And that's how you know, because it's immediate. It's like, we're going, everything's good. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's so clearly different
Yeah.
that you're being
The
love bombed.
contrast.
And like, I remember this happened, and you know, obviously I talked to you a lot. At the time when we were still working together, talked to her a lot. At the end, she was like, he's a sociopath. Like, that's the
Totally.
type of person he is, where like, you don't say all these things and do all these things as a normal person without meaning them. You're being love bombed. It's crushing.
And
It's
not
honestly
giving someone
so crushing.
closure too. Like, be a decent human. Like, if something happens and you're just not in it anymore, you're not just vibing, that still sucks. But tell that person.
Yeah.
Tell them, like, hey, you know, however you want to phrase it, I'm just not feeling this anymore. I want to do my own thing. You know, I'm not going to write it for you, but be a decent human.
Yeah. I think also at that point, like, listen, if you're not into it, you don't need to supply reasons why. Like, you have the, if you were together for like years,
Right.
or like even a year, a couple months, maybe then you owe that person a little explanation. But like, at that, you could also just not tell the truth. You could be like, hey, I am not into this because of X, Y, and Z. It doesn't necessarily need to be true. Maybe you don't want to date someone because, like, I don't know, their breath smells, or like, I wouldn't recommend saying that to someone, but
Right.
you know, you could, there are other, just be a decent fucking person. Stop love bombing. Also,
And no, go ahead.
because I'm like fighting the urge to go off. If you're an adult, and I'm going to classify anyone 30 and above, you're a fucking adult.
25 above. 25
all right,
above.
I'll give you that. If you're love bombing, go to therapy. Go to therapy. It's very, very strange, and I think you need help.
Yeah.
Like, that's not normal to do that. And honestly, like, looking back at my specific circumstance, he's probably done this often.
Well, yeah, it makes you question, like, how many people was he even doing that at the same time?
Yeah.
Like, imagine videos that were being sent that, like, if they didn't use your name.
Don't even send me down this
Sorry.
path. Yeah, now if you're going to send me videos, I'm requiring the name. I'm requiring you to say my name. Yeah.
And then another thing is, again, I hate fucking ghosting. I think it's disgusting. But to slow ghost is even worse.
Yeah. Oh, it's torture.
You're just torturing the person. It's like you're letting them go away and then you're pulling them back in. You're letting them go away and then you're pulling them back in. But you're just like trickling things in there to keep them on your hook. Versus just, if it's between slow ghosting and ghosting, just ghost them. Because you're just fucking taking a cigarette and you're slowly burning and hurting them.
It's so fucking annoying. And listen,
I'll fight this person.
dating in as a gay person or a queer person is hard.
Right.
In the world we live in today, like, it's very hard, and it's very discouraging a lot of the times if you're the type of person who, like, doesn't necessarily align with the kind of, like, standard that we're in, which that makes me want to throw up saying that, because I'm not it's not in like a judgmental way. It's just like,
oh, I know what you mean.
You know. But I don't even know where I was going with that. I got off track. What was I saying?
It's hard in this world to date.
Oh, it's hard in this world to date with that being the case. Don't be a fucking shitty person.
Yeah.
Like, just be an adult. Be an adult.
Be an adult.
If
like,
you're
the
not in fucking
ages
high
are
school
just
or
fucking...
college, like, shut the fuck up.
I
Be an
know.
adult. Say what you fucking feel and get on with your life.
Yeah.
This one, for me, it's triggering. It's triggering.
I think you need to read this man for filth and then block his number.
Well, also, so I'm going to just keep going with this. What do your friends say? I want to know what your friends say. Because what was your mindset when I had this same thing happening?
Like, from the start or when the slow burn started happening?
I think maybe when the slow burn started happening and you knew the whole picture from the start.
I mean, I think I was still a little optimistic because I felt like I was blinded from the love bombing as well, though. Like, I didn't realize it was love bombing until it kind of all ended.
Yeah.
So I was very confused because I'm like, wait, but he was just saying all of this to you. Like, I was convinced that there was a reason that like something happened. Maybe he was going, like, something with his life. Maybe he was like, something happened and it wasn't you. It was like him dealing with something that he was like less communicative. But then when it like started really fizzling, I was like, he's ghosting you.
Yeah.
Like, he's being a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, and that's who he is as a person, a douchebag.
Yeah, he's a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
I'm about to say his name, but I won't. But yeah, I felt like, I remember you telling me that Bethany said that, and then it was kind of like a veil lifted. Like, oh, Yeah, he's a gaslighter. He's a gaslighter.
Yeah.
He
And
was
it's
like-
so easy to see now.
It's so
It's
easy.
so
And it was
easy
like,
to see
was this
now.
just a game?
Yeah.
Which would makes it, I don't know how it could be worse, but it makes it worse. Like, were you just playing a fucking game?
Yeah. Knowing what I know now and then learning more as time went on, because like we're not in like the city where it's like you probably never see that person again, or that person, you never have any type of knowing
Like
of
your
that
circles
person.
weren't, yeah.
We're in a smaller area. There's things to know, and since then, yeah. So here, what's the advice that we're giving?
My advice is you got to end it. Whether it's you read him for filth, block his number, just stop reciprocating. Responding.
Reciprocating?
I don't know what I was trying to say. Stop responding. I think it's going to drive them crazy though, because they're a sociopath. So then they might start texting you even more. But I say stop responding, block their number, and or read them for filth if you really want to, depending on your emotions. But it's over, hun. I think it's over.
Yeah, my advice is get out. Get out, run. But I think at this point, and maybe this is just me, like what I would feel on a personal level, I think I would just end it. I wouldn't ghost them. I don't know if I'd read them for filth, because at the end of the day,
What
I
value is
feel
that
like
bringing to you?
that's giving them that like
More
satisfaction of like, ooh, I fucked
That's a good
with
point.
you,
That's
you
a
know?
good point. That's a good point.
Like, I think that's something that they're probably looking for. Just end it. Just be like, hey, I'm not really into this anymore, and let that be
Oh, that's
what it is. And yeah, I'm not a fan of blocking numbers unless you're like a spam caller. I never delete a number. I always keep it, because I'm like, you one day, people tend to come back around, and they try, and I want to make sure that I have it all.
I get that.
So yeah, I say get out. Listen, and it's a lesson. You learned, you know what it's like now. It's not normal like that.
It's not normal.
It seems like it's a movie and like, oh, like fairy tale. No, It's not. There's something else.
It's part of their game.
It's part of their game. They're lacking therapy, probably.
Just
So,
remember, it's a them thing, not a you thing.
Yeah.
It's a them thing.
Yeah. And it's shitty that like your time was wasted and all that. And like
Yeah.
you develop feelings. But you know what? It is what it is.
It's a learning lesson. Now you'll know in the future.
Yeah. And
Like, you'll know.
You'll know. It's very easy then to know when it's happened to you, if you are then doing it to somebody else.
Ooh, yeah.
Not that I'm over here love bombing people, but it's easy when you start first talking to someone of just like saying certain things that could be misconstrued.
Right.
And so you just become more intentional
More
with
cognizant of how you're communicating.
with how you're communicating with people, because you don't want to make it seem like you are love bombing them, because that's
That's a good point.
not a good thing to do, not a good thing to feel. Yeah. Jeez, that one. My hair with this
Emotional roller
this
coaster.
thing is
Oh, you're fine.
yeah. Yeah, today was, I think the thing is I could relate to all of those things, and
Same.
yeah, I think what if you had to generalize or like add all of the advice up, what would be your takeaway or your giveaway advice for these three people as a whole?
Okay. One would be trust your gut. I think trust your gut for a lot of these. Prioritize yourself. Put yourself as number one. And don't let bad experiences ruin future endeavors for you.
Good. That's good. I think mine is similar. It is, for me, I think in all of these scenarios, I think it's like lay everything out and look over everything, keeping yourself in as the priority in all of these things. And then had one other thing. What was the last thing you said?
Not letting like the past.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. And then the second thing is just always being optimistic. That could be bad advice. People might say like, oh, that's not good advice. But I think being optimistic in life and trying to
Search
look
for
at
that
things
silver lining.
positively, that type of thing. So that's, my general advice is like, in most circumstances, you could probably just, okay, let me just lay everything out. Put it all out there. What is the issue? What do I want? That stuff. Super helpful. I do it all the time. I'll lay things out. Like, sometimes you just have to step out of it, look at everything from an outside perspective, even though it's regarding yourself. And that can do wonders.
And then I think a takeaway for the writers for this episode, like you just said, we related to all three of those stories. Like not saying everything we went through, but there are pieces of each and every story that we could relate to. Remember, you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone. A lot of your stories and what's going on with you, there are so many people out there that are going through something similar. So just remember, you're not alone out there.
Yeah. Yeah, you lonely bug in the middle, the second one, you're not alone.
You're not alone.
Even if you wanted to be alone, you're not alone. Well, that's what we have for you today on this Thirsty Thursday. If you sorry guys, we're laughing because this is taking us a couple of takes to do, and I'm gonna leave this in there. But if you have your own advice for these people that wrote in today, if you want advice, if you want to tell a story, if you want to yell at us, whatever,
Make fun of us.
There's a couple different ways that you could do that. You could visit our website, callmecrying.com. There's a write-in section there. You can also DM us on socials. Our social is at Call Me Crying Podcast. But also make sure that you check us out on your, streaming?
Your streaming platforms.
Your streaming platform. Also on YouTube. Do us a huge favor. Follow us. Give us a good rating.
Watch the video.
Watch the videos. Engagement is super important, and we like doing this.
Yeah.
And we want to, keep going. So let us know what you're thinking, and that's what we got for you today, baby.
Yeah. Come back next week, and we'll get the crying going.
Yeah, bring your tea or your tissues. Oh, quick shout out.
Happy birthday, Tiff.
Happy birthday, Tiff.
It's my sister's birthday. Anyone and everyone who knows her, go say happy birthday. Give her all the love.
Almost missed that one.
I know.
Ooh.
Sorry, Tiff.
Happy birthday, Tiff. And next week, just quick, for next
Sneak
week.
peek.
It is Kayleigh's birthday next week.
It is.
Thirsty Thursday and her birthday.
I know.
Ooh, we getting drinks, baby. We're having drinks on the show next week.
Oh, yeah, we are. What's in our cup?
Woo, baby. I ain't telling you what's in my cup. Boy. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.